Good morning, everyone. I'm Manvita, and I'm very glad to be one of the co-organizers of today's exciting webinar on stream intelligence with SAP. I'm currently working as cloud data and AI expert at Ecoservity, where I focus on generating SAP insights on different platforms using USB for SAP. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to send them in the chat box, and we will try to answer them during the call or after the call. Thank you all for joining. Over to you, Anupam.
Thanks, Manvita. Hey everyone, quick intro. I'm Anupam. I'm CTO and founder of this company. We basically do stream intelligence. Just a bit of background. I have been doing SAP for the last 20 years, and one of the things which kind of I felt bad was, um, there's a organization called Amazon which is just keeps eating market share from manufacturers, retailers, distributors. Most of them are on SAP, and this is the topic of my research at MIT. Why is it that SAP users are lagging behind? And that's the background behind why we launched this patented technology. We'll go into it deeper. I am based in Chicago and very glad to have you all. Thank you. All right, Manvita, should we at least hear from people? What is it that they expect from the session? Launch the first poll.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I have posted a poll just now. Please feel free to answer.
Yeah, I think this will help us tune the session also. Or all of us have been using SAP data in some way or the other, either for our own business or for customers. What is it that you find most challenging to get AI, automation, analytics, any of that stuff done with your SAP? Take 2 minutes to get everyone's inputs. We have different platforms, semantic models, complexity, CDC, someone said CDC, incremental data. That's always a challenge. And German field names and tables, yes. All right, so I think I have an understanding. Let's get 1 more minute for people to respond to these challenges. Someone said S4 as well. I thought things should get better with S4, but let's see. All right, so I think we have the summary now. Before I start talking about our technology, let's see how a customer has solved some of these challenges. We have Sudeep from Modernic. Sudeep, go ahead and unmute yourself if you can. Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I think it's my. I'm audible, right?
Yeah. Sudeep, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Hi, Anupam.
Hey. So Sudeep
Yeah.
happens to be one of
So
the.
like,
Right, Sudeep.
yeah. Go ahead, Anupam.
I was just sharing. Sudeep happens to be one of the first three certified experts on stream intelligence with SAP, and he's done some amazingly innovative work for his customer. Sudeep, go ahead, and I'll share my screen, but you can go ahead and talk about the work which has been done. Good morning.
Yeah. Sure, Anupam.
So let me share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, Anupam.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead, Sudeep. I want tell us a bit about Modern.
Yeah. Uh, like see like Modic is a I mean like texture industry basically. So it's been like two merged companies. Like one is Dixie Textures and one is Anamar. So like Advent like recently take off these two companies. Okay, like and then was coming to my experience. Like I've been working here is 1.1.5 year. So when I'm joined like earlier, like when we are using the SAP, so at the time like our data extraction and reporting were like dependent on some other things like ODS and as well as some CDS views. So which made the process as time consuming and it's highly like effortful and it's very tough to handle the things. So after that, like Surya sir is introduced like Anupam, this EcoSafety company with the Stream Intelligence tool. So with that implementation of Stream Intelligence tool, like things have much more efficient. And also like we can able to successfully automate our sales dashboard as well as like we are working on the inventory report as well as and and also like previously when we are working with this ODS functions, like it been taking like more time to like develop and test the things and we need to extract from some other external tools, it will more complex. But in this tool like we have like very simplified our report processing and we have saved our mainly like our time. And as well as I'm no like highlighting here like I'm also completed a certification in the stream intelligence. So and Anupam like he supported me a lot and which helped me better understanding and how to utilize these full capabilities by using our company. And by the way, overall this project has been great learning experience in an entire my career and as well as like this is a major step in our Modnix digital transformation journey. So okay,
Deep,
yeah,
I
that's
think
it from my end.
thanks, Sudeep. This was really helpful, and I think
Yeah.
I was surprised and as well as excited. Their team, they took it on themselves. They didn't take any consulting help from us, and now they are rolling it out to 20 more reports and then another solution. And so the key point there was their team felt this was simple enough. Sudeep comes from a lot of technology background, but not core SAP background. And for someone to say SAP is simple enough for me to get in and do my stuff, that really was the goal when we built the tool. And I feel very satisfied when someone like Sudeep is able to say, yes, this is something which I can handle on myself and get my work done for my company. Thank you so much, Sudeep. All right, so let's get into quickly what we want to do. I'll blabber a bit about why we built this solution, why it may be relevant for your operations, and then Manvita, she's hands-on technical, and she will launch some amazing demos, and then we'll have some 10-15 minutes at the end for questions, answers. If you have any specific questions around your own setup, we can get into it. All right, so let's get going. Okay. Again, my screen is visible, right? Okay. So this
Yes,
is
Amit.
something which I used to feel very proud about. Me being a SAP guy, 20 plus years, blah blah blah. 90% of world's GDP, Fortune 500 companies, they run on SAP. What I started feeling bad about was sometime in 21 when I realized there's this company called Amazon, which is eating the market share. In fact, they have grown 63 times over past 20 years. And this is where your regular SPX companies are versus this is Amazon graph. 63 times. And they have taken market share from manufacturers, retailers, distributors, all of these guys. And I was curious, what is it that they are doing differently? What I found out, and this is something which you may have seen every day, when it comes to SAP based operations, this is how they have been trying to build analytics, AI automations. Uh, Believe it or not, you know, 90% of the customers I see when they come to AI analytics, this is the cycle they are following. They get identify the SAP tables, run custom extraction for each, identify delta changes if that is possible. Usually, most of the tools they don't support this. Then this is the big hole they fall into. They try to reverse engineer SAP's business logic, which SAP has done for 50 plus years. This is where they fail. And then, over top of that, SAP standard logic, they might have customer specific logic also, and trying to reverse engineer that on a cloud or some kind of repository, it gets difficult. Somehow they build a model, import that model data into Power BI, Tableau, now AI. And then, once the report is published, the user still has to alt tab, go to SAP in order to act, where they take action. This is 9 steps. Amazon doesn't work like this. Amazon simply they have their SAP systems or their supply chain systems. I don't think Amazon uses SAP for their supply chain. They get semantic, secure, and ready to act data, and then they are able to act. This 9 steps versus 1 to 3 simple steps is what makes the difference. So, digging deeper into why this is a challenge, there's 3 main things which you will see. One is no one buys SAP because they have tables. Right? People pay a premium to SAP because it has ready-to-use semantic models, your purchase order, sales order, GL accounts, customer master. That's what SAP provides for 27 different industries and around 500,000 businesses across the world. Getting those out from SAP is not easy. Building APIs from SAP, typical SAP system, 1.3 million plus information points. Building APIs is possible. That's where most of the consulting companies, Deloitte, Accenture, IBMs, they make a ton of money building one by one APIs. However, think of, scaling it to 1.3 million objects. That's where it gets very expensive and time consuming. Lastly, and this is surprising for me, people have SAP data extraction for many years. Microsoft has it, AWS has it, Databricks, Snowflake. The challenge is not just the tables data. The challenge is to get delta, which is, I think most of you would know. Delta is, I have, let's say in my sales order table, I have 1 million records. Today, I get 1 million out. Tomorrow, when I go, I already have 1 million. I just need to know what are the 100 which have changed, added, deleted, etc. That is a challenge which has not been solved by most of the third parties. I think now SAP gives something with BDC, which is Delta change capable, but rest of the other solutions they don't have. So those are three main challenges which we saw in in our experience, which stops these organizations to perform and compete against digital natives like Amazon. If you have more, just share that in the chat, and we'll try to encounter those. So, what is today's session about? It is USP for SAP. That's our patented technology. Basically, 1 million plus SAP models streaming for your operations. It's business ready because we are not just going to tables. It is getting you the semantic models. It supports tables Delta. And all of this is a simple web standard API, which you can consume for not only your analytics, but AI and automation as well. All right, enough of me talking. Let me go ahead and start the demo part. I'll first show what happens on SAP, and then Manvita will show her magic, how she does it to get data on the cloud. So before I go there, I just wanted to highlight what technologies are supported. So SAP, whether on HANA or not, we provide an add-in which sits here. And then, it is pretty open. You can use any of the Microsoft tools, SAP BTP, AWS, GCP. If you have none of those, we provide a scheduling script or work with your scheduling tool to get this information. The yellow lines show real time. So whether in your Fabric or Power Apps or Power BI or Tableau, we would go ahead and get this real time. If they still want to create a data repository on a data lake, NFS, data warehouse, etc., we would go ahead and support that simply because so many of the organizations are very used to it, and then feed the analytics and AI on top of it. So when Manvita shows, she will show the capability to extract using the APIs. That's the central theme to any of these repositories, right? The tool she will use is a standard tool, but do remember, we support any of the scheduling which may be relevant for your SAP. Okay, so I'll log in to my SAP, and by the way, this is not the newest S4HANA. This is ECC, which is where around 70% of the customers are still. We support both ECC as well as S4HANA kind of applications. So this is one of the reports called MB51, or RM07 docs. This is what most of our business users, they are very familiar with. They run it with a thing called Variant in SAP. And we get this output, around 36 odd records, which we would go ahead and get in SAP. Now, usual path is they would try to figure out how to get this data out. What they end up trying to do, or at least IT ends up trying to do, is they try to look at tables. And when I did a analysis of this particular report, for this one report, SAP does 212 different tables alliance. And getting those out is one hell of an exercise. The reverse engineering of those 212 tables is where usually your projects fail. Okay, over to you, Manvita. Show us the magic.
Give me a minute, I'll share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes, now we can see it.
Yeah, as Anupam mentioned that we can stream the data in any cloud platform. I have generated a file in Azure. So this is the file which has the SAP data. So give me a minute, I'll show the SAP data, and then we'll go through the process which we need to follow to generate the file in Azure. So this is the data which we have generated in Azure. So first we need to navigate to the Postman, and then we need to follow few steps. That is, we need to provide the base URL, and as we are providing the input parameters, so we are need to use the method as post, and then we need to provide the authorization details. There is a username and password. This is the username and password. And then next we need to provide the JSON body. So we have a source parameters as the destination parameters. Here the source is RM07 docs, that is a SAP report, and the destination is the Azure. So we need to provide the Azure destination path. For the authorization of the Azure, we are using the SAS key. So this is the SAS key, and these are all the details which we need to provide. And I think we are good to go. Let's try to execute this particular script and try to see what output will be getting. Yeah, I think we have got a successful response. So we can see the 201 message, that is nothing but a file has been written successfully into the Azure path. So let's go to the Azure and check whether the file has been generated successfully. So this is the report which has been generated successfully. So this is the SAP data which has a RM07 docs. So now let's get back to one more scenario wherein we can do live request response. That is, we can just do the data of the SAP report, that is RM07 docs. The same process we need to follow. The only difference is in the destination parameters, we need to give all the destination type, name, and other parameters as 0. And then we are good to go to see the response, what we'll be getting in the RM07 docs. Within some time, we can see that the response has been generated successfully. It has array of objects wherein the first JSON has all the columns, wherein it has been separated by the delimiter specified. This is the symbol which we have used. So first JSON, we can see that the W, that is a work area, followed by the column names in the RM07 docs, and the next JSON will have the data that is in the RM07 docs. So the third scenario will be generation in the SAP data itself, that is streaming, live streaming into SAP data. So the next will be in the SAP only. We need to specify the SAP data part. That is, this is the destination name wherein we want to generate the data, and then the all remaining the same. And then now let's try to execute the same. Sometimes we can see that in the specified path, a file has been written successfully. Yeah, I think it's done from my side.
All right. This is very good. So we talked about generating to file, generating to cloud, generating to file share, as well as doing a request response for, let's say, real-time API. So that's pretty straightforward. Manvita, how much of your SAP experience you had to use to get this kind of information?
A minimum experience, I think if we know the basic details, we can just pull the data and then retrieve it and then generate a file wherever required, I think. We just need to know the basic parameters which SAP data is. It can be either report or a table if we know, and if we are using any variant, then we can just try to pull the data and then generate wherever required.
You are awesome. There's something on AI which I have been playing around with. If we have time, we can quickly get into it. But before that, let's do the poll and see, what people feel about this. Manvita, we can launch the poll.
Yeah, sure. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Yes, I have launched the poll.
So we have to choose which one is most important amongst the three, right? Okay, I'll use this. second is file share. So live SAP data is most popular. Wow. I'm actually surprised by that people want to do lesser to cloud than to file share. This is interesting. Okay, one more minute before we go on. I will unmute everyone and see here, what people have to say about this. I have a very simple use case which I want to show, but before that, I want to hear people's views on this. Wow, Mike. I think I have allowed Mike for everyone. Okay, if you have something to share on, can we see the overall results, Manvita? The summary of
Yes,
the
Anupam.
poll, I think.
Yeah, most have chosen SAP data as a live API.
I am so excited to hear that. I'm surprised, but also excited because. So I'll share my screen. Let's see. I have always felt that we are so used to, copying data and then building something on top of it in a data lake, data warehouse. Live API is almost double of anything else. Roshan, Morne, hi. Anuj, do you guys have any view on this information?
Yeah, so Anupam Muna here. I think the reason why live data would be great is that the fact is that people don't want to copy their data the whole time, right? If we look at what DataSphere is doing now as well, that's the same thing. Have your data in one place, mix that with your other analytical data so that you can do reporting on that, or any analytical to mix that maybe with non-SAP data. But don't copy your data more than once. Keep it in one place.
I'm so glad to hear that, but do remember, hey, that's copying data is how SAP and Microsoft and Databricks make money. So,
but if we look at DataSphere, for example, what they've done now is right. Yes, you still copy the data to DataSphere, which is still the same thing, right? But the fact that they've now made it such that you can use the open driver between Databricks and between SAP, you can actually run analytics against the SAP data that is not copied into a lake somewhere, but you can still then mix your lake data with the actual SAP data. especially today, we were sitting in a meeting where the guys were asking, why do we want to copy all the SAP data anyways into an area that doesn't make sense to them? But unfortunately, when you want to mix non-SAP data to make analytical sense or write analytical models on top of that, unfortunately, you need that data somewhere, right?
Not if you have the REST API. That's what we do in People at Work solution. We pull SAP data as REST API and then others also and mix it up.
Yeah, but that's why I say, but traditionally, that's what we did, right?
Yeah. Traditionally, that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
Now with this, if we can have the live API and we don't have to download the data, well, I think that's a better way to do it, right?
Well, you are completely in sync with stream intelligence philosophy. Then we hate copies of data. We want to stream it. If I have the permission, I've been playing around with some of the AI stuff, and I want to ask the opinion how this gels out. Is it okay if I do one more demo on the AI with this live streaming? I'll take that as a yes. So remember this SAP report, RM07 docs. I don't know how anyone is able to make any decisions out of this. But what I have been playing around with is this really simple chat bot where user doesn't need to know RM07 docs and this and that, etc. They can simply say, hey, I need material documents list, right? It goes and understands. We have a MCP model built up with all the SAP information. It understands and infers what is it that the user is asking for, and it translates that into what SAP information source I need to go, whether it's a report or a table or whatever. When I run this insights, it will go get this live API information from SAP and then do two things. It goes and understands and gives me top 3 insights. So based on all of this information, it is telling me now, hey, your materials document list, I have pulled from SAP. And then these are the top insights which I could find for your data. So, all high concentration of goods receipt at Dresden plant. This might lead to clogging at this particular plant. And then it gives a recommendation that if this bulk receiving is going to reduce the throughput of this plant. Second one, it is going and sharing on the fly is, e-commerce returns are very high in the Dallas plant. The third one, there's inconsistency in WBS element. And finally, it summarizes, what's the data it has found. All of this is happening live based on the streams it gets from SAP. We can easily mash it up with streams from non-SAP as well and feed users actionable recommendations instead of dumping them with this kind of data. And since our model is, we have this catalog, we are able to call any of the SAP apps models on the fly. We can orchestrate some of those actions. So instead of 20 different agents, we have one agent which can keep on querying and taking actions. What do you guys think about that kind of AI orchestration?
So Anupam, this AI that you've got now here, right, is this something that the user can install on their local environment? Because most of the customers that we always have, the issue is that using something like ChatGPT or even Copilot and those type of things, big corporations don't like to send their data to organizations like those. Hence, they would rather spin up their own closed down environments like this. Does this link into like Azure closed ChatGPT models that one can do, or how does this then work? Because this is awesome for some of the clients that we've done stuff now as well. I mean, I've implemented a Databricks AI typical chatbots on people's data as well. And currently we're investigating agentic AI with using the MCP services now. That's the latest and greatest thing, right?
Yes. That's a great question. Right now, this is built on an agentic model, which we are using. I think we are using Claude as well as OpenAI. Claude for inferencing and for translating this text which user types to what SAP object I need to look up from the MCP catalog. Right now, what we have set up in the demo environment is using the public APIs. But if a customer has Azure, OpenAI APIs or others, it's simply plug and play. We would be going ahead and hooking up all of this agent onto their APIs, and we kept it to browser based so that there is literally zero front end installation. They can just use a browser and get their insights. So in terms
our clients that we currently have, this would be actually really useful, to be honest, especially on their SAP data.
Yes, and it does. Right now it is feeding from ECC. It doesn't even need your Joule or S4 HANA or BTP or RISE or whatever needs to be set up. That's a 3-4 years journey. This works with their current setup wherever they are at. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being most impactful, where would you rate this kind of ability for customers, especially in their order fulfillment, procurement, all of those operations? Any views? Is it closer to a 3 or 4 out of 5?
For some of the stuff that I've seen now, I would say 5.
Oh wow!
Insights for people. The reason why is that, especially if you have to a lot of your data to get certain insights, it's a very useful tool for business.
Well, I'm so excited. 5 is usually very difficult to get, but at least if we are at 4.5, I'll be very happy. I'm so glad you find this useful. I can stop blabbering now. I want to open it up for questions. What are the specific challenges you would want to talk about in your environments? How can we help your customers or your own organization compete better with this behemoth called Amazon? Roshan, Monet, Nikhil, I think you have done some work on AI analytics.
Yeah, I think the next step is it's with AI. It's nice to have what I always call the play tool that everybody's so happy about, typing stuff into ChatGPT and gives you answers, right? But what does real AI need to do? Real AI needs to start working for you. Just typing in some sentences, getting some blurbs back, that really does nothing for most people, except fuzzy feeling. We need AI now to start being able to take actions, and that's why this whole MCP world, that has come about with agents, makes more sense. But obviously, the biggest problem with that is then again getting clients to trust AIs to make decisions, which is not based on fixed rules always. A pure if-else statement.
It is, and I'll share where we slightly differ from SAP or Microsoft's approach for AI. We're getting into AI, but I want to share why we built it the way we built it. Let me go ahead and quickly share my screen once again. So when I talk to SAP or Microsoft, etc., the approach which they have taken, you're able to see my screen, right? Yes, no?
Yes, Anupam.
Okay. SAP's approach seems to be, this is their SAP source, S4HANA, ECC, CRM, whatever. Then most of the organizations, what they're doing is they're doing a large model and n number of small agents, right? For AI. The problem, this they are copying from the consumer space where, as individuals, we have different tasks, different usages, so independent agents can work, right? The problem at workplace is not these agents, but how the workflow happens across these agents. How do we orchestrate them? And when I talk to any of these providers, they're great at building these agents, but if they keep this model of large number of agents talking to a large model, the orchestration is difficult. Where we are taking slightly different approaches, we're taking it small models, for your tariff, for your procurement, for your sales orders, etc., and one macro agent which can get information from all of these. Some of these may be SAP, some of these may be non-SAP as well, and then run the orchestration through the tasks. So that's where you will find the stream intelligence approach slightly different. And by the way, we do support in some cases non-SAP as well. So, orchestrating from all of these and building your stuff. So yeah, I think if you were to see, the green is the approach which we have taken. One macro, because we have one simple API to which I can get 1.3 million objects from SAP, right? And then build the orchestration on top of it. Any questions, comments on this approach versus what we are seeing in the market?
So basically what I'm seeing is that you've got microservices almost, if we think about it.
Yes.
Yes. That's great, because then that means also you're not hitting everything with one go. How's the performance hit on a SAP server doing this, Anupam?
So I think that's a great point. There is going to be some impact. That's one of the reasons why when we support this, we also support caching of some of this data onto your data lake and then making your AI inferences on top of it. Obviously, if they are on HANA and if they want to do more and more real time, the way to go is increase the capacity here so that this can work real time. But if they are not ready yet, then caching some of this and then doing their operations is the second way.
If you say caching, is it like setting up your vector databases on the lake itself then?
That could be one option. Even I have seen there is Parquet data, which is highly performant. There is also Redis in memory cache, which I can have as an add-on to my MCP catalog, where I can cache important results and refresh the cache every 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever frequency we want. So there's some mechanisms which we support there. Usually, you're right, SAP has been built and being used more and more for batch. We want to do it more microservices through all these APIs and build it more real time in streaming. Does that make sense? Are we smoking something?
No, that makes sense. I think it gives you the best of both worlds, right?
Yes. Yes, and the challenge, I can tell you right now, the challenge will be to all the IT shops. They have been copying data for so long, you will find resistance. This is what the imprint they have in their mind. And the second one is all these large vendors, Microsoft, SAP, Google, they make their money by copying data. They know that's not the best way, but once you start making money that way, it's not easy to give up.
The other thing is, how do we convince a client always as well? Some clients don't like their SAP systems to be hit quite hard with external third-party applications always, and that's always I think the main worry they always have. One, they don't like data being copied, but two, they also don't like hitting the SAP server with a third-party application all the time. Hence, you must always schedule your downloads or your external applications at times when the SAP servers are not busy and so forth. How would you manage that type of questions from a client?
Usually, what I found is me saying anything is less impactful. Their business saying, "Hey, we need this real time," is much more impactful. They listen to their business, and their business, when they are out there in the marketplace, they are fighting Amazon, who does it more real time, gives all kinds of options. That's what is most convincing from business side. This is an IT tool. I think I can have one more webinar if needed. We did it last month for real-time streaming in analytics and AI for people at work. That's the business-facing solution which we have. So if I was to, So the USB for SAP is for IT to build their APIs, build their repositories on cloud or wherever. I think what will be more impactful from business side is when their business operations, they are able to get these streaming insights from SAP models directly in the field, and then they are able to act on it in time. Actually, if you think about it, 10 years ago, that's the promise SAP made with HANA. That no more OLTP, OLAP separation, it will be one engine. I don't know, maybe they realized they can make more money by still copying data, but at least with HANA, that was their promise. All right, I didn't mean this to be a pitch. I just wanted to share. What else can we answer for your setup? And if you have specific questions, what you can do is just send me or Manvita an email and we'll try to respond as much as we can. Manvita, is there anything else we want to share?
No, Arvind, that's it. And thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You have been awesome. Anyone else wants to share a problem which we didn't talk about or we should be focusing on? All right. If there's nothing else, we can give back 8 minutes to you. Thank you so much for joining. And those who have registered, you will get the webinar. Thank you. Thank you, Mona. Recording as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Nikhil. All right. Bye-bye.